Hey folks, how's it going? Thought I'd finally get around to filming this video. It's been a busy past couple of weeks at work, so this is getting done a lot later than I would have expected, and I apologize for that. But I figured while I'm talking about this, rather than just staring at a plant, not that some of you probably wouldn't object to that, but I thought I'd get some work done while I'm doing the video, so I'm going to do some watering, some feeding. So we're going to start off with macronutrients, talking about their role in plant health. And it's not just going to be, like I said in the previous video, the N, P, and K. We're going to talk a bit about some of the other macronutrients. I'm going to be starting with the ones that plants derive from the air around them and the water they receive. And then we'll move on to the next section after that. And this is going to be a multi-part video, so buckle up. I'm thinking if there's enough interest, then we'll deep dive. Start with just touching on the basic information and moving on from there. Just see what you guys want to do, and that's what we'll go with. So we'll start with carbon as the first macronutrient derived from air and water. It provides the backbone or structure of most biomolecules, including proteins and starches and cellulose. And it's actually fixed through photosynthesis. And so it converts CO2 from the air into carbohydrates, which are then used to store and transport energy within the plant. Now, that's not the most glamorous nutrient, but it's definitely necessary for all plants and their health. Next is hydrogen, which builds sugars and provides structure to the plant. It's obtained mainly from water, and the hydrogen ions help drive respiration and photosynthesis. Then we're going to talk about oxygen. So, oxygen is a component of many organic and inorganic molecules within the plant. It's acquired in many forms, including oxygen gas, carbon dioxide, water, nitrate, phosphate, sulfate. Plants produce oxygen gas along with glucose during photosynthesis. And then they require that oxygen gas to undergo aerobic cellular respiration and break down this glucose to produce adenosine triphosphate, or what we'll refer to as ATP. ATP is pretty important. It provides energy to drive many processes in living cells and is often referred to as the molecular unit of currency. You'll hear about ATP a lot in these videos. It's super important to plant life, among other types of life. So you'll hear more and more about that as we go along. So the next section is what we're going to call secondary and tertiary macronutrients. These are still very important and used by the plant in larger quantities, hence macronutrients. But they're ones you don't hear about quite as often. You might, I mean, it depends on what you grow. Some of these things we talk about a lot in orchid culture. Super important to all plants, but we talk about them more in orchid culture because I think they're more commonly overlooked in the care of those plants. The first one being sulfur. Sulfur is a structural component of amino acids and vitamins, and it aids in the stabilization of protein structures. We know proteins are what make up most substances in humans and plants, so super important. It's an immobile nutrient, so it doesn't move around in the plant. Once it's taken up, it's used, and that's it. It can't be moved around to where it's needed. So you're going to see symptoms of deficiency in the youngest parts of the plant first. Those signs of deficiency are going to be that the younger leaves become uniformly chlorotic, which is yellowing. It's basically yellowing. You'll notice it. It just looks unhealthy. That's what we call chlorosis. You'll also see restricted shoot growth and small, stiff, and woody stems in plants that are deficient in sulfur. Next, we're going to talk about calcium. That's a big one in many types of orchids. We know paths and cattleyas use, among others, use a lot of that calcium. Calcium is very important for plants. It's also an immobile nutrient. Sorry, I keep correcting myself. I'm not really correcting myself. It's just, I'm afraid it's hard to hear the M in the beginning of immobile. Calcium makes up cell walls in the form of calcium pectate and is necessary for normal mitosis. It helps stabilize cell membranes and maintains chromosome structure. It neutralizes organic acids in plants, making it a detoxifying agent. It's imperative in regulating the transport of other nutrients into the plant and serves to activate several enzymes, including that adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. So there's a lot of signs of deficiency for calcium. Newly emerging leaves are affected first, since it's immobile. That's important to remember. So you're going to see that usually towards the top of the plant, since those are the newest growths. You get distorted, small, and dark green leaves. Some leaves may be cup-shaped and crinkled. The terminal buds may show signs of deterioration. You'll see markedly impaired root growth and sometimes even root rot. The stems will become weakened. Buds and blossoms drop prematurely. And terminal buds under severe deficiency will desiccate. They'll dry up, and a lot of times they'll turn black. Anyone who's grown tomatoes in a calcium poor soil will know what calcium deficiency looks like. You may not know it, but you know what it looks like. You get blossom end rot in tomatoes and other members of the Solanaceae family. Next, we're going to talk about magnesium. Now, magnesium, unlike a lot of the other nutrients we've been talking about here, is a highly mobile nutrient. It's a constituent of chlorophyll and activates enzymes involved in carbohydrate metabolism and the synthesis of nucleic acids, such as DNA and RNA. It promotes the uptake and the translocation of phosphorus. This makes it essential to providing energy to the plant. We'll talk more about phosphorus later. But magnesium also helps move sugars within the plant. And sugars are what plants feed on, just like the rest of us. So the signs of deficiency, you'll notice interveinal chlorosis. So that yellowing and general tattiness of the leaves, but it'll be in between the leaf veins. And that's going to affect mainly the older leaves. Since it's a highly mobile nutrient, so what the plant's going to be doing is, when there's a deficiency of magnesium, it's going to move whatever it can from the older leaves into the newer leaves to try to save them. So you're going to notice the deficiency signs mostly on older leaves. It's going to do what it can to save those new ones. Those are important. Those are its babies, you know? Metaphorically, anyway. So this interveinal chlorosis is going to produce a streaked or patchy appearance. And in the case of acute deficiency, the affected parts may dry up and die. So we definitely don't want that. It can cause small, brittle leaves that may even curve upwards at the margin. Here. And some plants display spotty or marbled chlorosis with tints of orange, red, and purple. Normally that orange, red, and purple is indicative of a pigment called anthocyanin. The weak stems that are prone to a fungal attack, usually with premature leaf drop, will develop. So lots of nasty things happening in magnesium deficiency. So that's all I'm going to cover today. I'm going to try to keep these videos a little shorter. I don't want to drone on for too long. I'm going to get back to watering some plants. I've got lots to do. Past few days I've been up at the crack of dawn for work, and so I've not had much time to get any soaking or watering done on a few of my plants. My vandas are a bit thirsty, so next time we'll probably be talking about NP and K. I'm going to go over those. They have a bit more detail, so we'll probably make a video just out of those three. I'm not going to make any promises on when that's going to get up, because I'm not sure. But I'm going to shoot for soon. Thank you guys that are hanging in. I appreciate your views. Thank you to my friends, my personal friends that are subscribed and watching. Sean and Denny. You guys rock. I really appreciate it. Tell me if you've noticed any deficiencies, or you think you might have seen some of these deficiencies in your plants. I'd like to hear from you guys, anything. I like to have a conversation. I'm always having conversations with Todd from Todd's Tropicals. Shout out to Todd. Thanks for watching, man. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.